An Undercover Policing Inquiry. I'm live. We've just been hearing the live evidence of Bob Lambert for yet another day. I think the most important quote of the day is, I didn't have evidence for a lot of the intelligence that I submitted. I wasn't expected to. I mean, I think that really sums up a lot of it. We've seen a lot of his reports today, a lot of them, well, I mean, they're just bereft of evidence. He admitted that there was speculation, was a large part of it. I'm joined with Phil and James. What do you make of his evidence?
He was having an hour-in-law, wasn't he?
Yeah, very much.
He was like talking and talking, but not really saying as little as he possibly could.
I mean, that has been the hallmark of all his evidence, I think. Yeah.
I think the torture of yesterday, we're starting to see the results of with Bob now, because every single thing that he reports on, particularly the stuff with Helen Steele in the last hour or so, nothing is backed up by anything.
No.
So it's literally just going through it, and I can't recall it. I can't recall it. And it's undermining anything that he's reported on, completely and utterly.
Yeah.
And giving way to all the evidence the activists gave last week.
Yeah.
And finally feel like we're moving at the top, getting towards the top of the hill, where you see a little bit of light, where he's getting undermined more and more.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Dave? What do you think?
Well, what a quote that was.
I've just said it, literally. Yeah.
I never had any evidence.
A great deal.
What was it again? I wrote it down, it's so important, yeah.
There was, I didn't have evidence for a lot of the intelligence that I submitted.
And I wasn't expected to.
I wasn't expected to, yeah. I mean, it does say it all, really. I mean, I think we could talk about. He was questioned about the fact that he had appeared as a witness, a defence witness, in the arrest of an activist. He claimed to have no memory of that. We saw the paper trail that suggested that he was going to do it. His manager thought it was okay. The more senior manager said it's not. We heard from Steve Curtis's written statement that he says that he did appear. He was asked questions about Paul Gravitt, about driving people places, about a lot of the lies that he made about Helen Steele. A lot of the things that we heard this morning were subject to restriction order, so we can't really talk about them in any detail, but it was suffice to say, Lambert was lying. I mean, I think that's an overwhelming thing is that his reports were lies. He does this thing, because he claims to have no memory of everything. I mean, he's come out with some absolute pearlers, I don't recall, but as you know, that's no guidance at all to whether it happened or not. You know my position on that. This idea that he's kind of accepted that he's a useless witness and not credible.
To say the least. To
say the least, yeah. I mean, it's been officially announced to be back in on Tuesday. So even another full day of him giving a lot of I don't recalls and I can't remembers.
Talking about the driving as well, similar to when Phil was here with Neil Richardson. Again, Neil Richardson couldn't remember going outside the M25, and a lot of that was put on Phil's memory, I think, from the police officer. Now Lambert seems to be substituting his name for Helen a lot in terms of when he's organising these bits and bobs of driving up to different parts of the country.
We have that hilarious situation where he's it's one of his reports, and he's talking about this being at the trial in Leicester, and various comrades going to support people there, and then after he's just being torn to shreds from it, he goes, "Now I think about it, I'm sure I wasn't there." And it's just like, okay, Bob, of course you weren't. It's only a short break. Is there anything else you want to add before we?
I think he seems a little bit more flustered today. It's a little bit. He was more in control yesterday, I think, and now he feels a little bit more under pressure, which is good going into the next session, I think.
Yeah. I'll do another video at lunchtime. Thanks for joining us. There'll be a Twitter Spaces tonight as usual. Cheers for joining.
I was going to say,